Here on Schoolroom Earth, we're now sitting our final soul test exam, and it is quite a challenge. It presents itself in the shape of war, with the haunting spectacle of innocent civilians caught in the crossfire of the protagonists. So how do we respond? Do we club together and buy ourselves a small elevated planet tank and go and sort these bullies out once and for all? Should we be equipping ourselves with holy hand grenades to fight fire with fire? Well, taking a step back, maybe that's not such a great idea. Attempting to resolve issues created by polarity thinking with polarity thinking only succeeds in continuing the cycle. As such, we will put the elevated planet tank idea on the back burner for now. Anyway, the good news is that while we sit for this exam, it is perfectly acceptable to sneak a peek at the responses of those cleverest students. And having got the answer, it's also actively encouraged that you allow others to look over your shoulder so that they can get it right too. This week we turn to Clever Clog students Gregg Braden and our higher dimensional non-physical chum Abraham, channeled by Esther Hicks, so that we can ace our exam. Yes, it turns out that we are not mere powerless observers of conflict. Indeed, we can choose to deploy a weapon so powerful that we can end war forever and step into our world of unspeakable beauty. So no need to fear this exam because we already have all the answers. Hi there everybody, this is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolé Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to welcome you to today's show, where it ranges from pranks all the way to gratitude and neutrality. So John's going to tell us more about it.
Yeah, we just had a brainwave this week about how to shift things around a little bit, just purely because I came across something that was so good that I just thought, because one of the things we're doing with the newsletter now is that we have these, like every time we put it out, we'll put three sort of really funny sections on. I mean, I love them and I love finding them because I end up just crying with laughter. And laughter is a really powerful vibration, right? All this thing about not taking life too seriously, about being in joy, we're here on the planet to enjoy ourselves. So what we thought we'd start with this week is going to be a little bit of levity, actually. And as Jolé said, it's a prank, but it's probably one of the, because I'm not always into those sort of things, to be honest, but this one is so well done, as you'll see. And I just thought, well, we're going to start with that. We're going to share it and give us all a giggle for starters. And then we will get into the other content. So bear with me a second. We are going to that right now.
Hello?
Hello. This is an automated call from Toyota. We're calling about your
2012 Toyota Tundra.
We noticed your car warranty is expiring soon. Would you like to extend it? Please say
yes or no.
No.
Okay, got it. You said
Yes.
No, I said no.
okay, got it. You will see the charge on your Visa ending in the numbers.
No, I said no.
3656.
No. Do not charge my card.
I'm
Operator.
sorry.
Hello, help. Zero, hello. No, do not charge my card.
I'm sorry.
I said no.
Okay, got it. The total amount for the extended warranty is
$1,468.42.
No. I did not charge anything.
I'm sorry.
On my card. No.
I'm sorry.
This is bullcrap. Put someone on the phone right now.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble understanding you.
I said operator or assistance or whatever.
Okay.
Somebody.
Okay, got it. It sounds like you're also interested in purchasing
A new car.
No, I said talk to somebody.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble understanding you.
Operator.
Would you like to speak to an operator?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Press 0 for the operator.
Let me talk to someone.
You pressed.
The number 4.
I pressed 0.
If you'd like to speak with customer service, please press 0.
I already did that.
Okay, got it. If you'd like to extend your warranty for 5 more years, please say
Yes or no.
No.
You said
Yes.
No, I didn't. Put someone on the phone.
okay, got it. It sounds like you want to talk to an operator.
Yeah, you think so?
I'm sorry, that function is not currently working. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Put someone on the phone!
Okay, got it. You said yes.
No, I didn't!
Thank you for your business, and would you please hold on the line to take a small survey?
Put someone on the phone!
You should yell less.
What the?
That's right. You've been yelling this entire conversation. It's quite loud.
What is this?
And now you're arguing with...
A computer system.
You're stupid.
You're stupid.
No, you are stupid.
What is this?
This is a...
Prank phone call.
What the?
If you enjoyed it, please press
1.
if you didn't like it.
Tough.
But I should also tell you that's a prank phone call. It's a joke.
What?
Your brother told me how pissed you'd be if you had to put more money into your car, and he wanted me to prank you.
Yeah, I just love that. And I apologize in advance to those who've just got on the line in the last 3 minutes during that call and think, okay, well, this doesn't look like Elevated Planet. Because I saw a few coming in and then a couple of them disappearing as well. So they're probably thinking they've connected to the wrong thing. But anyway, the reason is life is to have fun, right? That's what it's about. It's, love, laughter, lifestyle, all that kind of thing is what, Elevated Planet seeks to represent. And that just seemed like a great way to start it, because staying playful, right? Staying playful, having fun is a high resonance, it's a high frequency, and it helps us to loosen the shackles of any stresses and strains that may be around us. So I think it's always good. Whether we do that ongoing, we'll see, but that's just a start. But if anybody comes across anything that they think is really good and think it's worth sharing in that particular slot, do send it to us, and we can check it out, and maybe that might be a future inclusion. So I wanted to do that, but now we're stepping into the real material for the show, because obviously lots happened over the last couple of weeks with regards to the conflict that we've seen in Iran, and with Israel and the United States, and how things are escalating, and how it draws people's attention away from many things, and it's kind of drawing people into a deeper level of stress and anxiety. So it's a time to take stock, and I know that as a community, we kind of we know that we create our own reality. So therefore, this is a time when it becomes very important to be able to step into our strength. And one of the pieces we've got at the outset here is to have Elizabeth April just with a little short clip, which is really quite, I like it. I think it really does set the scene quite nicely. But before we do that, Jolé, what would you care to add?
In our society, there is this need to do that, to prank. And it's one of the reasons is that we not take ourselves too seriously, and we not take those things personally. Because if someone is kind or flowing with that energy, all of that stress and negativity, it doesn't enter in, right? So in a way, I know some people are like, that's not funny to me. It's because of the reaction that this gentleman was having, the level of stress that he was already under because of his perception and his thought processes. So I know those of us have experienced that. That is triggering and traumatizing. But at the end of the day, is that really a trigger you need?
Yeah.
And if so, how do we go about disarming this? Because situations like that, you flow with them. Oh, is that true? Okay, tell me more. I see you're not working well. Hang up the phone. There's so many things that you could do in reactions to not have that response. So in a lot of ways, it's a teachable moment, as well as like laughter. Because I grew up, I tell John all the time, my father loved Benny Hill. So that type of humor, that type of energy is necessary for us to sometimes deal with truth, as well as realize that it's all a game, and our perception really determines how it unfolds for us.
Yeah, no, it is. It's important. And you know, we've all had calls like that. You know, not quite the
Yes,
same as that for
yes,
sure, but
yes,
it's brilliantly done. The way that the woman comes in with the computer voice over the
yes,
other recorded voice, which just kind of makes it so authentic.
yes. It was very well done. And so it is enough to scare you, to contract, but at the same time, that, hey, what's going on with you? Be in control of your world. You know what I mean? Be in control of your response and your decision and your choice, and start to frame, carve out how you want exchanges to go in your world. And that's what I'm learning, is how we begin to quantumly jump timelines, is we start having different reactions to these experiences, and we start being the one leading the vibration.
So, shall we do it? Shall we leap in now to with
Yes.
Elizabeth? And there is a little playful angle to this one as well, actually,
Yes.
and see if you can spot it. But it's a very good message, and it really gets us online now with the message for the rest of the show. So no more pranking. Here we go. I'll see you on the other side.
All right, I have a message for you. If you're watching this right now, then you need to know that life is hard right now because it's the culmination of every life lesson you have learned leading up to this point. And that's why it feels like things got worse and you're back to square one and you're learning the same thing over again. But let me tell you this. This could be the last time you ever have to learn it. This could be the end of this cycle. And that's up to you. That's your choice. But I need to give you a validation. If you don't change, if you don't consciously choose what it is that you want, you're going to keep getting stuck. So yeah, you have the free will to choose. But if life is hard right now, it's going to get harder. Because the universe, your guides, your higher self, are pushing you into the highest timeline. And unfortunately, they can't do that for you. They give you the signs and the courage, the signals, the opportunity. But ultimately, that choice is yours. So, what's next for you?
And we're back. So yeah, I mean, I do love the picture of the alien in the bath, um, reading UFO news. But again, the message that sits beyond this, you know, this is now the test, right? This is where we've entered now. All this conflict, all these things. I mean, this has been promised to us. You know, when Lee and the Z's were talking, and they did that, that broadcast was a couple of months ago, and they nailed it in terms of the timing. This is the start of the chaos, and they said, it'll be through till early May, I think, before things start to die down a little bit. And then it doesn't really truly end until the end of 27, or when we're getting into 2028, things start to smooth out a little. So, and that's not talking about specifically the Iran situation, of course. That's just could be anything that's going on out there. And so there's an awful lot of distractions, but we get to choose, right? We get to choose where where we place our attention and our focus, and that really makes a huge difference. And of course, because looking towards where we're heading, we know that this is all about heart-based unity consciousness. It's about love. It's about kindness. It's about compassion, and it's very difficult to switch off when you see and have things thrust at you constantly that show, people being killed, innocent people that, would not be part of this conflict. And, it's going on right now around the world. So your heart goes out to them. But again, it's actually coming back to, say, like the Pam Gregory meditation on the Thursday nights. It's about putting out the frequency of what you want those people and the world to experience, which is love, joy, happiness, gratitude, kindness, compassion, all those kind of things. That's what we want. So that's the frequency that we put ourselves into. So if we start to spiral into those lower frequency emotions, there, because of what we can see is being presented to us as truth, and then that's always a question, then because it is designed, if you look at the news is not designed to uplift you, it's designed to drag you down. So you've got to be careful about what you choose to digest by way of the media materials out there. But, anybody who's watching this knows that already. I'm pretty confident of that. So it's not a balanced view. We are being fed a narrative that the media folks and those who control the media want us to accept as the truth, and maybe get angry more, create more division and separate us rather than bring us together. We're heading towards unity consciousness, and yet division energy is very, very powerful. So we know not to get drawn into it, and we need tools to do that. And this is where Gregg Braden is going to come into this next as well. And before we do that, I'm going to bring Jolé in and just see what you want to add.
I love the playfulness of what Elizabeth April and the energy that she was bringing. And that also, for some people, can be very triggering to see her reaching for something that is beyond what it is that we are used to, right? And what is that doing to us? That's helping us find our stairway to quantum jumping. Because look at what Elizabeth April has been able to create in life just from listening to her intuition and following the breadcrumbs of playfulness, of childlike intuition, and of moving towards enthusiasm and joy. And it is absolutely something that we're like, for me, I had to really sit with that video. I'll be honest with you. I looked at it. At first, I didn't even know what it was. I couldn't really make it out because my eyes are not as good as they should be. And then finally, John was like, that's an alien in the bathtub with a towel on. And then it came into view. I could see it. And then I was like, you know what? This is kind of cool. What she is saying is, it doesn't take you stepping into a church, a temple, a mosque. It doesn't take you kneeling. And what it does, it just takes a moment of you connecting with divine spirit and flowing with the energy and intuition that is coming into you to have these magical moments.
Yeah.
And so miracles are all around us. We create them, we bring them in, and our perspective is so important. This time is pivotal in that we are transitioning, whether we like it or not. It's just what's so. So you can sit in the energy of, let me ride this wave the best way I know how by using my tools of stress management, of grounding, cleaning my chakras, meditation, visualizing the most loving good so that I can step into this new paradigm in a way that serves me and my environment. And that's unconditional loving and that's unspeakable beauty. Or I can move into the warmonger energy, the robber baron, the captains of industry, which, is really becoming like the dragon. And it's unfortunate, that dragon, maybe the old ones we'd like to, and unicorns we'd like to see. But these gentlemen, that energy kind of needs to transition into something that supports more of the highest good. And that is up to us.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And at the end of the day, I always come back to the thing that whatever we're seeing going on out there is still in divine order, right? And that's an important thing to remember, because this is supposed to happen now. This is the test. This is the soul test that we're going through for the years ahead. And I, do believe that, as we've said in recent weeks and recent months, about the 2030 timeline being, decision time by which, from a consciousness level, of the consciousness level at which you vibrate, will then influence where you go forward from there. But there's plenty of opportunity yet for people to get online and to awaken. And, as people awaken, you want to be able to help them to climb up to that higher rung. And it's just understanding the nature of the game, the Ascension
Yes.
game that is being played.
It's interesting, John, because we hear this and it's drilled into our head. History repeats itself. Why haven't we learned? We had World War I, we had World War II, we've had the Depression, famine, this and that. and we're still doing the same thing, humanity, over and over and over again. When are we going to go, you know what, enough? We do not need greed. We do not need the seven deadly sins to permeate our lives, the ego to permeate our existence. It's like we didn't learn from Rome. We didn't learn from Germany. Like, when are we going to learn? So although it is within divine order, it's up to us, right? We talk about perspective and going quantum. So instead of being in this timeline of war, collectively we can decide and choose something different, but it takes place first in our own lives. So maybe the divine orders are to teach us something, but can we be the ones to raise that vibration and that frequency to break through, first in our lives and then in the lives of others? So that's what I'm on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's where
I do.
because I'm tired of, like, even saying that, the judgment. I want to take out that, but I'm enthusiastic about transforming into something that is very loving, supportive, and abundant to the way in which Mother Earth and humankind in the universe works best.
Yes. Yeah, personally, I'm excited about where we are now. And to your point, First World War, Second World War, they were the training ground, if you like, and it was, it just shows how, dense the energies can become. But now is the time which has been waited for, thousands of years. This is the prophecy time right now. This is the time of the changing of the ages. So World War One and World War Two, it wasn't there yet. It was still getting to this point, but that's why it's so exciting and what's such an honor to be here on the planet right now. It's why we came here, for all these
Yes.
changes and for the density and being able to rise above it. It's exciting. But yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yes, as Lao Tzu said, new beginnings are often disguised as painful endings, and I think this is kind of a good way of looking at it. But yeah, and tools for the journey, right? So this is where we're going with Gregg now. Is like equipping ourselves with something very specific, which I believe really helps with tackling the things that we are confronted with through the news media and through various other channels on a regular basis. What do you reckon, Jolé?
Yes, let's move forward.
I'm going to do it. Okay, guys, bear with me a second. We are going to the wonderful Gregg Braden.
So, how do you apply this gift of the blessing? When an event hurts us, typically, we may look at the parameters of that hurt. I'm going to use our example of Rwanda because it lends itself well to this. In Rwanda, 3 things happened. The Rwandans lost their lives. Soldiers took their lives, and I was left behind to witness. Those become the opportunities of places where the blessing may be applied. And something amazing happens when we bless the things that have hurt the most. For example, what happens when we say, bless those Rwandans who gave their lives so that we may know ourselves in their passing? Our world's different now that they're gone. We have to make sense of that difference and what that means. That's the first step. Second one is the one perhaps it may be a challenge for some people. What if we say, bless the soldiers that took their lives? Bless the soldiers that took the lives of the Rwandans. This is where it's important. It doesn't mean we agree with what they did, that we consent or condone what they've done. It is our acknowledgement that they are playing out a role that is sacred in nature and part of the one. And although we may not understand it in this moment, it may not make sense to us, it is part of that one, and we're simply acknowledging that unity. How may we transcend the polarity of this world if we continue to respond to the polarity through the eyes of polarity? If we continue to respond, only blessing what's good. We bless the Rwandans, the soldiers, what about them? Well, forget those guys. They're the ones that took their lives in the first place. That's the thinking that led to this experience. It takes a powerful, masterful being to find a place within themselves where they can bless that which has transpired, which has hurt them deeply. And this is one of those places where the words may fail. This is one of those places where you must experience it for yourself. That's the second opportunity for the blessing. So we bless the Rwandans that gave their lives so that we may know them in their passing. And now we bless the soldiers that took those lives. The soldiers now know themselves in the taking of a life. That's a hard one for some people. And the last one, it's the one that's been left out in the West, is us. Bless us in the witnessing. We're the ones that have to make sense of it. We're the ones that are left behind. And those three codes of blessing, I believe, hold such potential for healing. And I've seen it in my life, I've seen it in the lives of others, and they're so subtle. Please don't be deceived by the subtlety. And please bear in mind that when you bless, you're simply acknowledging that what you have experienced or witnessed is a part of the one, and that's all. As you sit down with your children in front of the 6 o'clock news, and your children see the outrageous events that are transpiring now at the close of this cycle, shift of the ages, the 0 point moment, where we're being pushed to the extremes of emotion and who we believe we are through outrageous events, some of them that cause a lot of pain. I ask the question, what choice really do we have other than to rise above the polarity that hurts us in the first place? The other choice is to remain a part of the polarity and to be angry and to judge. And this is where discernment comes in. I believe discernment is a powerful tool to recognize what we no longer choose to have in our world and then to make it so by rising above that polarity. Do we turn our backs and walk away from the things that hurt us and disown them? Or is there another way? Can we find a way to rise above the goodness or the badness or the rightness or the wrongness? Can we discern what we no longer choose to have while still being there in a form of love and support? And the gift of the blessing allows for that possibility. Now, clearly, I would never choose to persuade or convince anyone of anything. These are simply possibilities that I'm outlining. I'm fleshing out our knowledge of history and the possibilities of what our lives may mean to us through tenets and codes and texts that were taken out of our common modes of history and circulation 1700 years ago. And what I invite people to do is take this possibility, and if it works, if it makes sense, and if you find a place for it in your life, then you've got it right this moment. Embrace it and live what it means. And if you hear these words and they make no sense to you whatsoever, the magic is you cannot unhear them. So I'll invite you to place them into a file folder somewhere in your memory called possibilities, and to hold on to whatever belief systems have brought you into this moment, because they are serving you very well. And the moment that one of those belief systems fails you, rather than struggle, trying to hang on and make that old belief system work, let it go with grace. Bless it and let it go. Come back to this file folder called possibilities and allow for what this code of compassion and blessing may mean in your life.
So with the haunting sound of Gregg's flute disappearing into the distance, we can just seep ourselves into the wisdom there for a little while. You know, talking about a tool for this moment in time, I think that's really excellent. And we've got more to follow as well, which I think really adds to this as well. You know, so it's, you know, I think making the point that all roles are sacred and part of the one. You know, if we believe in unity consciousness, which personally I do, then what you have to say is that everybody is here on the planet now playing out a role. And it doesn't matter if we're all aspects of the divine, that means that those perpetrating atrocities are also part of the divine. So do we judge against them? You know, one of the things I always go back to, you know, conversations with God, the parable of the little soul. That was a really excellent piece as well, there by Neil Donald Walsh, and obviously his channeling of God, where the little soul is looking to have an incarnation where he can learn about forgiveness. But in order to do that, there is no one any less perfect than he that is over on the other side. And then a soul pops up and says, I'll give you something to forgive. I will come just out of love for you. I will give you something to forgive. And therefore, they work an alliance that kind of around a life plan. And what the point is, obviously, is that that little soul is going to perpetrate an act which is going to require forgiveness, but it's done out of love. So everything we see going on can come back to that. And I think it's one of those things that can really help to guide us back into line with the you know, seeing things for what they are. You know, I mean, absolutely, compassion, kindness, any goodness we can reach out with to help those areas that are really struggling, if we can do that in practical terms. But as we know, you know, with the quantum wave structure being the way it is, what we can do is actually change the frequency from a group consciousness basis, as we do through the Pam Gregory meditations, raising that frequency and sending out those amazingly loving vibes. You know, we don't need the elevated planet tank or the holy hand grenades. We just need to keep raising the frequency of ourselves. So it's an inside job. And that makes a huge difference to the outside world. Individually, we're powerful. As a group, we're enormously powerful. So the point that Gregg is making so wonderfully here about, you know, is allowing us to do something which is not spiritual bypass. It's not just burying your head in the sand. It's actually taking it and breaking it down into a way that enables us to be able to handle it and avoid that, you know, thing about being actively encouraged into anger and judgment and division. Now we've got a tool which tells us we can take what we've seen, we can actually do something which will then change the frequency of the whole thing and not draw us into division. It actually draws us back into unity consciousness. So I think that's so super powerful. And the point he makes is that it is now the close of the cycle, the shift of the ages. That is why these things are going on. We knew they were going to be happening when we came here, just that obviously the veil of forgetfulness descends upon birth, and we don't know what our life plan is. We don't know this is going to happen from this incarnation, but we have a team of guides, masters, and angels who do know this. And that, again, going back to Elizabeth April's point, call on your team. We've got galactic families out there supporting us as well. We've got our metaphysical family out there supporting us. So, you know, through meditation, through prayer and everything like that, that's how we get there. That's how we go within and kind of get into that sacred space of the heart and really get into our you know, master, get to become the masters that we really are. Because if we're here on the planet right now, we are already masters. We just are unrealized masters because we've been programmed and conditioned to be on a different track. That is now falling away. We are permissioning the falling of the veil. We are permissioning a higher level of awareness to come in from our higher selves to kind of make sure that we're on this right track so that we can help other people to achieve this as well. I think it's fantastic. One other thing before I go to Jolé, which I will do any second now, is again just to mention the fact that we know Elevated Planet stuff doesn't really get circulated far and wide on YouTube itself. Please do. If you enjoy our content and you know other people who would enjoy the content, please do share it. It's so important because that's the only way we truly build our community. You know the people to whom this would resonate, and you know the people to whom it won't. So, thank you to Joy as well, who also sent me a note this week to say that she'd done that very thing, and her daughter had passed it on to somebody else who really loved the show, and therefore we build a community. We build somebody who now knows what we do, and they like the style of what we do. So, anyway, I've said enough. Jolé, can I bring you back in, please, for your thoughts?
Absolutely. And speaking of community, back to what you're saying about collective consciousness, and that's why we do what we do here at Elevated Planet. That's why this show comes on every week. That's why we show up on Thursdays, because it's like turning the Titanic, but we can do it. You know what I mean? And by showing up for ourselves every day and by collectively coming together to do this twice a week or so, it creates that momentum that we need to shift energy in the direction of unspeakable beauty. And we keep, just as much as they keep programming us with predictive, programming and negativity and limiting beliefs, we're trying to move the needle to helping us remember our power, what's within the ancient coding of our DNA and our bodies and our minds and our spirits, and the ways in which to integrate those and align them so that we can, on our journey, stay connected and stay on that path. Because everything else around us, almost, not everything, that's a generalization, but a lot of these things that we are compulsory or compelled compelled to partake in are meant to shatter us or to separate, make us myopic, I guess. You can't see, right? Your lenses are not aligned. So that's what we are faced with, and why John and I have come together with our entire community to create these vibrations that reverberate out, hopefully, like, you're throwing a stone in the pond, and hope that it reverberates out and it creates change and transformation.
Yeah.
So join us on that.
And thinking about it, right? So the Pan meditation we did on Thursday, we've had 57 people joining that particular meditation. And you think, okay, well, that's 57 times 57, because the energy squares with these high frequency vibrations, the energy squares. And you think about your meditations, Jolé, I mean, like from last week, that specific stripped out meditation is 120, and like the other show is being viewed like 260 odd times. So that could be, if you start to multiply those numbers together, we are getting multiple thousands worth of energies going into the quantum wave structure during your meditations as well, which is uplifting us. It's uplifting us individually, it's uplifting us collectively. It's just so powerful. So I love our community to bits. I love the fact that we have you all here dropping your comments in all the time as well. And I'm so, so grateful for that.
Yes. And some people may look at that and go, "Ugh, that's nothing." But for us to grow that way in a very organic way, without bots, without help, without anything but our own spiritual blood, sweat, and tears, and to just putting it out there is so important to us. So that's why we choose to multiply instead of subtract, right? Around this energy, because we want to grow. And going quantum requires that perspective from us. So with that being said, please, again, like, share, and subscribe. I think it's soon. We're going to have a Patreon, and Elevated Planet is going to go into donation base. So please look to that soon, because we really could use the help.
Yes, indeed. And we will get on that and get that available for you. So I appreciate the fact that there'll be people out there who would be willing to do that. But at the end of the day, we have to provide the platform. So bear with us, and we will be with you on that soon. So I'm thinking, Jolé, do we head over to our friend Abraham and Esther?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So this piece really dovetails beautifully with what we've heard already. And again, I think it's so empowering. That's basically where we're trying to get to here. So
Yes.
do we do it? Hit the button?
Yes, and it's very playful. So, get into the humor and the childlike energy of it all, because that's kind of what it takes to manifest.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Thank you, Jolé. Right, everybody, bear with us a second. We will be switching screens again.
We know that when you were born into this wonderful body, that you never attended a class early on in your experience where they taught you about the law of gravity. No one said, oh, my child hasn't been to gravity class yet, and he's just floating around everywhere. It's like he doesn't understand that he's supposed to be on the ground. Nobody was worried about that because everybody thought that it was pretty clear that if you jump off of something, you're going to go down, not up. And so we want to acknowledge that law of attraction is as easy to understand as that, especially once someone has defined it to you in the way that we have. You really don't need a class about law of attraction. You just need observation. I thought this, I felt this way, and this happened. I thought this, I felt this way, and this happened. Law of attraction is not going to be squirrely. It's not going to be partisan. Law of attraction is not going to be unobjective or partial. Law of attraction is going to respond to you the way you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. That's it. So whatever you've got, you thought about. How about that? Now, sometimes you don't want to hear that because you say, wait a minute, I did not think about this thing that I got. Esther said to us in those early days, Abraham, but it's true. It's true. You want me to not think about this thing that is true? And we said, she didn't like this either. We said, what's truth got to do with it? She was shocked. Abraham, you pretend that you're a non-physical goodness. What do you mean? It's irrelevant if it's true. And we said, law of attraction will make anything that you focus upon true. Law of attraction will cause anything that you focus upon to be a manifestation that you and others can see. So your criteria must not be if it's true. Your criteria must be, do I prefer it? Do I want it in my experience? Do I want to be the perpetuator of that? Do I want more of that in the world? Do I want more of that in my world? And if the answer is yes, then give it your undivided attention. But if the answer to that is no, I do not want that, then withdraw your attention from it. That's not easy, is it? Taking your attention away from something. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that. What? That thing I'm thinking about. I'm not going to think about that. But you're thinking about that thing you're not wanting to think about while you're saying you're not going to think about that thing, aren't you? And so you can't not think about something because you're thinking about it while you're not wanting to think about it. But you could think about something else. And that really is the art of deliberate creation, is to find something that is pleasant to think about and then think about it long enough that some momentum becomes big enough that then the thought will begin to entice you and to call you, and so will the evidence. You live, we all do, in a universe of attraction, which means this is an inclusion-based universe. There's no exclusion. So when you see something that you want and you say yes to it, you are calling to you this thing that you want. But when you see something and you shout no at it, you are calling to you this thing you do not want. There's no yes or no. There's only attention to it. And attention to it causes an activation within you. And if it's there long enough, law of attraction begins to respond to your active vibration. So, you, dear hearts, are a mixed bag. You're offering vibration about lots of things. And that's all right, because after all, you came to do some step one. And you can't do some step one if there's not some contrast that causes you to choose. That's the difference between you and your inner being. You said, I'll go forth and I will explore contrast and I will come to new awarenesses about what improvements would be. And your inner being said, and we will stay here, and when you find an improvement, we will focus upon it unendingly until you and we are able to bring it about into full manifestational form. And everything you see around you has happened because there has been a vibration and then enough thought about it that a thought has turned to a thing. So, we've enjoyed this interaction immensely. It's lovely to come together with you. We like to chew with you upon the things that are important to you. You'll notice as we are playing together here today that it is our powerful intention to help you discern the perspectives that you are holding that are helpful to you and the perspectives that you are holding that aren't helpful to you. Because once you've asked and once it's been given and once you have found a way to come into steady alignment, that's what step 3 is. Once you are in the receiving mode of what you're asking for, then those thoughts begin turning to things. And oh, what a sweet spot that is. And step 4 is really when you're really good at step 3. Funny to give a whole step to just being good at the step before. But it's really worth doing, because every now and again you just stumble into the receiving mode and something wonderful happens. But to do it on purpose and to be able to maintain it and to realize when you're slipping from it and then to do something about it, to deliberately focus your thoughts, to meditate when things are not going well, to get a good night's sleep, to wake up the next day, to deliberately get off on the right vibrational foot, to accomplish the mastery of being in the receiving mode. That's really what you were born knowing you can do, expecting that you would do, and it's really what we've come to remind you that you can do. Step 4 is the mastery of that alignment. And then step 5, maybe our favorite step. Step 5 is when you're back in step 1, exploring contrast, but you're not mad at yourself.
That's beautifully told by Abraham Care of Esther. And, again, as Jolé said, it's the playful aspect of that as well that makes it fun, makes it engaging. And the message is still very deep and very profound. And I think this is why it matters so much right now, again, because of all the distractions that are playing out in the world. And it's difficult not to be distracted. But it's important to know that you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. It's that thing that you are a magnet based off your emotions and your attention and your imagination. So if you think about that, these are our superpowers. Our imagination is a superpower. Our emotions are a superpower. And we're kind of being drawn towards misusing it for the negative. But we have a choice. This is the Ascension game, right? We choose how to use our power, and we have all the power. What's happening out there is happening out there. What happens here is what we have complete dominion over. This is where we are sovereign. And this is where we need to be discerning. And Gregg used the discerning word quite a bit there as well. Understanding the nature of what we're seeing around us and choosing the path that we want. Because and this is one of the most important statements here. The truth is irrelevant, right? That's a startling statement on its own, because again, we find ourselves, I'm focused on this because it's true, right? This really is happening. The truth is irrelevant to how you create your reality. Basically, what you choose, where you place your attention, where you get into that high frequency emotions and living life as if a wish fulfilled, as Neville Goddard constantly said, is what it's all about. You get into the frequency, you get into the resonance that puts you in vibrational alignment with what you seek. So rather than spiraling down, as we're encouraged to do, into division energy, into fear, into hatred, into whatever, we can maintain that elevated position. We can be on our eagle's perch. We can be looking down and understanding. And if there's ways in which you can help, the people who are struggling, then we do it. But at the end of the day, a lot of the time, what we can do is raise our frequency to our highest level, because this is all about self-love. It's realizing we are aspects of divine energy. We're all here for a very specific purpose on the planet right now. And that is how we are able to best help the situation and the changes going on right now. And coming together collectively in a community is enormously powerful. Individually, we're powerful. As a group, we are powerful so far beyond that. And, that's when creating a world of unspeakable beauty becomes, something that we know is going to happen. It is just a question of timing. But the unspeakable beauty already exists here. That's it. Because we're living there, it's just all happening. We are setting the momentum up, and it's happening already. It's happening around us. It may not be in the physical world right now. It's happening. It's coming our way. So, Jolé, can I bring you in, please?
Some people might think but I have these thoughts that come up and it's so hard to maintain my frequency. What do I do? Let me tell you something. I walk around all day Hooponoponoing everything. Your negative thoughts and your limiting beliefs, they do not like Hooponopono. They will dissolve. You're driving around and you remember that past experience or that argument you had or what your boss said to you at work. John talked about, instead of spiraling down immediately, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You say it in your mind. It's so powerful to just be said in your mind, to sort of like put that X over that negative thought, and it just dissolves. And then you're into this state of your heart. You move into gratitude, and then neutrality happens. And you think about, really, what is polarity, these two extremes? Because in our society, the checkerboard energy is really big. You have right and left, you have right and wrong, you have, just so many different levels or competing ideas, however you want to see it, opposites. And so polarity can be a difficult one at times, like manic depressive, all of it. You got to really look at the languaging around it and begin to unpack it in the sense of, why do I have duality? Where is my duality coming from? And how do I get in a state of neutrality, which then leads me to unity? So these are some of the things that we want to questions we want to answer within ourselves when we begin to maybe do the spiral. I love you. I'm sorry. It works. So for those of you like, oh, how do I raise that's it. Go right there. It's very simple. And it's a stairway to raising your vibration.
It definitely is, and I mean, it's quite miraculous the way that does work. And again,
Yes.
everything's a practice, right?
Yes.
So the more we do it, the more automatic it becomes. And I know with
Yes.
Abraham, the way that it gets phrased is always reach for the better thinking thought. So once you find yourself going down there, it may not be possible to go all the way from, something that's kind of emotionally hurtful all the way to elevated emotions. But what you can do is think, okay, well, what's a better thinking thought? Layer it on, layer it on. The Ho'oponopono is great because that is a super powerful all-in-one kind of thing, which is so simple. But
Yes.
that's another alternative, is layering on the better thinking thought, the better thinking thought. Then eventually you'll get there.
But let your ground floor possibly be the Ho'oponopono. That's right. And then build from there. You know, it's great, especially when you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep, to start to hear yourself say that to yourself and to those experiences.
Yes, I agree entirely. Ultimately, this is all taking us back to something we've talked about so often, which is becoming deliberate, conscious creators of our reality, because we create our reality always. Nobody else can take the credit, right? Whatever state of mind we're in, whatever we have going around us, it's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And it's taking ownership, but using these tools, the Ho'oponopono, using these tools like what we get taught by Gregg and by Abraham. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing that it all comes together. And I know we've got Alan Watts coming up as well, just to lead us into the meditation, with similar brilliance. So yeah. So what do you think, Jolé? Should we go into that now?
Yes. Yes.
Very
It's
cool.
time.
Right, so we're going to head to meditation now, and we have Alan Watts with a minute's worth of his brilliance and wisdom to lead us into Jolé's words of wisdom that will follow. So bear with me a second while we switch screens.
Gratitude is not simply saying thank you for things. It is the recognition that you already have everything you need. When you feel grateful, you're not lacking. And if you're not lacking, you are no longer chasing. In that moment, you vibrate at the frequency of abundance. Because the universe doesn't speak in language, it speaks in resonance. And gratitude, our gratitude, is the song of alignment. So when you feel grateful, not for what's coming, but for what already is, you become a magnet, not for things, but for the energy that makes all things possible. That is abundance.
Bring your awareness to your chest and just feel yourself breathe. And just with your own energy, the energy of all that is that you make up. Open your heart. See your heart chakra open, like double doors opening out. And you see the sun shining into your heart. And an outpouring of love just come forth from you, out into your environment and into the universe. It's just energy. You need nothing. And then all of a sudden, your physical body just dissolves. And you see it turn into little bubbles like carbonation, and then become one with its environment. Feel this energy. Feel the oneness that you are. You need nothing but you. Everything that is great, that is beautiful, is right within you, that is smart, that is capable, that is abundant. You can transform at will. As your breath has its rhythm, allow for that to be your beacon. As you recreate yourself in the manner in which you are the expression of unconditional love and abundance. So see your environment that you are one with. Begin to take on the density and frequency of a high vibrational human being. Your soul reconfigures all the powerful and positive lessons. You have learned them. You're ready to step into your abundance. All of you, because you are connected to everything and everyone, everywhere. You have access to the energy, to the life force that is Mother Earth, divine positive energy, the quantum field. And your engagement in it uplifts, inspires, creates innovation and synergy, illuminates others to step into their creativity and their power. So as you reformulate yourself, your nervous system, your spine, your bones, your joints, your skin, your organs are brand new. You are refurbished. As you gently come back into embodiment with new fresh cells, new energy, new clarity. As you take a deep breath in and exhale. And from a heart-centered space, you gently command your heartbeat to sync up with your breath. As you bring your awareness to between your sit bones and ground your energy with a grounding cord that is 6 inches in diameter, connected to your first chakra, as it gently and lovingly moves through the layers of Mother Earth, reaching her core, growing roots, taking in all her nutrients and vitamins, as those golden rose-shaped scrubbing bubbles come in to scrub off anything you're ready to let go of, anything that no longer serves you. You're ready to release the programming, the conditioning, bringing divinity into that first chakra so it spins at a rate in which you feel safe. Your nervous system relaxes and you flow along your journey as you call your higher self above you, a comfortable distance above your crown. Your higher self stands at the power position, pulling your aura layer in to be 1.5 feet around you, 18 inches above and below you, to the right and to the left of you, front and back, as you sit perfectly in the center of this beautiful divine circle, as your astral body knows to snap itself in, fitting inside of you like a hand fits inside of a glove. As your feet open like the lens of a camera, you're calling in that 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you, pooling in the bottoms of your feet, traveling up the side channels of your legs, while simultaneously your crown opens. And that beautiful golden light, cosmic, divine, life force energy comes cascading down like this beautiful, iridescent golden waterfall, raining down on your higher self. And in that space between your higher self and your crown, it begins to focus into these little beads that integrate with the 50 trillion cells of your body. And once they have been saturated, that energy then begins to cascade down your crown, mixing in with that earth energy, fortifying your atoms, and then beginning to fill you up like water fills up a cup, that living water moving through this new iteration of you, solidifying this new energy, this new vibration, this new frequency of unspeakable beauty and unconditional love. As it pulsates, infiltrates every one of your cells, integrating this energy all the way out into your skin, hair, nails, teeth. You are glowing with divine life force energy. You have been restored, remade, dropping all that programming and conditioning that no longer serves, being filled up with self-love, confidence, wisdom, neutrality. And as this essence runs through our body and begins to sprout out of our feet, hands, and crown chakras, filling up our aura layer, we bring our awareness to our heart that is open, wide, and love is just pouring out. It's just filling up our energy, our aura layer, and just going out of our aura layer and into our environment. And while this is taking place, as you sit in your heart, I want you to feel so much gratitude for yourself, for your abilities, for your creativity. Just so much gratitude for your experience, for you being here. And you say, I'm having problems feeling gratitude. What does that feel like? It feels like, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Thank you. I love myself. There is so much abundance and creativity within me. It is safe for me to live in joy. My intuition is keen, and I listen to the guidance that comes forth from divine. I am a being of light and blessings. I open my heart and I serve mankind with unconditional love and compassion. I remember who I am. Therefore, I bring peace to my environment. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. As you sit in your heart and you feel these energies, these positive energies move throughout your body, you feel that energy first. Let your body relax and feel the different sensations that move through you. As you sit in a place of gratitude and you command for that portal from your heart to the center of your head to open, and all of those feelings of love, of abundance, of creativity move into the center of your head, sending out that beacon and that frequency and vibration of unconditional love, unspeakable beauty, creativity, as you now see what it looks like, what those feelings generate and create, the film that light is moving through. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body and know that your heartbeat is synced up with your breath and the energy of divine and Mother Earth are moving through your body, bringing health, wellness, feelings of joy and enthusiasm for this experience, as those feelings of love and joy and compassion and service move up into the center of your head, powered by the support of Mother Earth and Cosmic Divine, as you begin to see that vision of your life unfolding, while all the energy of your body knows, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And instead of this coming from a place of needing forgiveness, of letting go of guilt, now it is the fuel, the rocket fuel to help you go quantum, because now it is not burdened by anything, anyone, or anywhere. It is pure quantum fuel. So as you say that in your mind and you visualize the unconditional love and unspeakable beauty, your perception changes. Your energy and frequency, your vibration raises, and your focus is clear. As you take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, relax into this new energy that you are. Just breathe and relax. Accept the new you. Relax into the new you. Flow with that quantum energy of your intuition and the guidance from divine energy that you are. So from this space of unconditional love and quantum energy, take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to close our crown like the lens of a camera and see that cosmic life force energy, that golden beauty of light ascend back up into the heavens, just hovering there for you to have access at any time. On the next inhalation, gently exhale and close your hand chakras like the lens of a camera, and gently close the double doors of your heart and allow for all that love to just settle around you. We're going to take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to visualize our feet closing like the lens of a camera, and Mother Earth energy with all her vitamins and nutrients just being right there under our feet for us to have access to at any moment. Take another deep breath in. Let that belly extend. And on the exhale, you can now open your eyes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jolé.
Absolutely. That was fun.
Yeah, for sure. That's another one to build into your practice there, right?
Yes.
For this time, it's absolutely spot on. And I love the Ho'oponopono to get rid of anything that's not serving us, anything that is allowing us to get back to that point, 0 point of neutrality.
But also realizing that it's not just there for you to feel pity or sorrow or sadness or forgiveness. It's actually rocket fuel to help you go quantum once you wash it off, for lack of a better, that's the visual. Wash it off while you wash off your chakras and your energy. And then once you get clean, start to see the vision as you begin to embody that in your mind. Just say it like it can gain momentum for you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jolé. Thank you very much. And I suppose now we're heading towards the wrap up.
Yes, let's wrap it up.
So again, as always, I want to just say a huge vote of thanks to our community for being here, for all the comments. We love you. We're going to send a newsletter out tomorrow, and that will have the edited version of this show. It may even be available later on tonight, once we just get to do a little bit of tidying up on it. But anybody who wants to be part of our distribution list for the newsletter, then drop me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, or you can contact us through our elevatedplanet.life website on the contact page, which has a free format contact box. So you can send us any messages that you care to, and I guarantee we will always come back to you. And yeah, I think other than that, Jolé, what do we want to say?
As always, please like, share, and subscribe. That's what building community is all about. And we really appreciate you joining us on this journey. And
Yeah,
we love you.
we do indeed. And yes, we are so grateful for you. And again, just share. Anybody that you know may resonate with this message, make sure that it gets out to them, and we'll build that community of like-minded hearts and souls around the world, and get ever stronger, ever stronger. Fantastic. Okay, so we should be doing the meditation on Thursday again. So if you're around for that on Thursday, if not, even if you can't make that particular time, then tune into the recording of that, and your energy will be joining ours there as well. So it's all good whichever way you do it. So thank you, everybody. And again, thank you to the community. We've still got the comments coming through. Bless you all. And yeah, thank you. Truly appreciate you. Thank you, Jolé, and thank you, everybody. And we will see you in a few days' time.
Bye-bye.